This is her debut. Let's give her a lot of love and support for Molly Socha.
I know everyone, so that's why this is happening. Despite the fact that I dress like a 6-year-old on a 1994 playground, I'm a 30-year-old woman. I just get unnaturally excited over denim with an excess of pockets. Toothbrush for later. That's about everything, yeah. No, overalls are great. It's just kind of difficult when you have to go to the bathroom. But I assure you, there's nothing worse than when you were trying to go to the bathroom in a public restroom while wearing a jumpsuit. For those of you romper virgins in the audience, you have to completely disrobe. I have never felt more vulnerable in my life than when I have to go use a public restroom and I am wearing a jumpsuit. And I have drunkenly passed out in the lobby bathroom of Marriott Courtyard before. So, as you heard, it was my birthday this week, so that's exciting. Turned 30, and I really just feel like I'm straddling the precipice of two places in my life. And that is no more obviously defined than my physical appearance. I have the face of a 20-year-old named Caitlin, who's a millennial, but the body of a 50-year-old divorcee named Kathy, who's got to pick her kids up from soccer practice. But I got Kathy's thunder thighs across the finish line of the New York City Marathon. Super painful. Yeah, the training is really interesting. I had to buy a lot of new products. There's this thing called Body Glide that looks like a stick of deodorant that helps with chafing, and you just rub it all over your sensitive bits and parts. And after 3 different athletic stores, and not sure if sales clerks there are just really confused or have a weird sense of humor, I was like, fuck it, I'm using Crisco instead. And call me crazy, but I actually think it made my legs move faster. It was just like 2 Thanksgiving turkeys on a slip and slide. Yeah, so despite the extra lbs, I guess you could call me a runner. Yeah. I actually recently, my big race recently was a 193-mile relay race on a 12-person team in the middle of nowhere in the Adirondacks. Sounds like fun, right? Yeah. So fun. And it actually wasn't that bad until I was about to run my second leg in the middle of the night, and we get a text message saying that there's been a bear sighting nearby. I'm not kidding. And that the race committee is investigating. So first off, I don't know how they think the high schoolers they suckered into volunteering for community service hours are going to save me from a bear. And second, I realized I am royally fucked. Because I am by far probably one of the slower runners out there on this course, okay? So that's disadvantage number 1. And number 2, these bears are stocking up for winter. Let's think about it. Do you honestly think a bear is going to choose one of these wiry runners to sustain itself over hibernation over this? I am the fucking Mardi Gras feast wrapped in a headlamp and a fluorescent vest. But I'll probably do it again next year. But I'm coming prepared. coming prepared. I'm gonna offer all the runners my organic, homemade Body Glide, which now is just basically bacon grease. So I'm gonna one up this next year. Yeah, so I recently also was on an Amtrak coming back from Boston and got stuck in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut. And initially, we just lost power, and initially everyone's clearly upset. They're this is annoyed by the delay. I'm pretty stoked at this point because I'm like, yes, now I don't have to come up with a lie to tell my friend Kate for why I'm not going to Jersey City for her birthday party. So, and then they announced that the food car is also not operational anymore, and I'm like, fuck this noise! Yeah, it's bad news. And then this sad Amtrak cop comes on about an hour after we're just sitting there, and he says he's gonna go car to car, he's gonna answer everyone's questions, just make sure everyone's okay. And obviously my question is, are there emergency snack rations? And this older guy like comes up to him like really just like focused. He's like, I've got a question. And he says, first, do you think we'll be here overnight? And then follows that up with, what happens if one of us dies? And then like the cop gives him this look like, what? And then he just kind of saunters off and he's like, it's just a thought I had. He is the first one I'm barricading in the bathroom. But it got me to thinking, like, what if my last moments on this earth are spent with these people? And that's why I make the decision, I am going to make them mourn me. So I offer my Knott's shortbread cookies to the 7-year-old and a few aisles ahead. I offer my Coke to the elderly woman sitting behind me. You know, I am the Angelina Jolie of this third world that is called Amtrak. If I actually die at this point, I am going to have a funeral fit for a queen. Like, they are going to go and use the unused Amtrak seats to build my Viking funeral pyre. They're going to make that 7-year-old boy vow to name his firstborn after the woman who shared her shortbread cookies. But eventually we like 3 hours later, we start moving. And blessings, they open the food car again. And like everyone else on that train, I go straight for the food car and order a microwavable individual-sized DiGiorno pizza for myself and a half-liter bottle of wine. And like anyone who's been the victim of a traumatic experience, I Instagrammed my first meal. And let me tell you, you have not experienced true happiness until DiGiorno comments on your post and says, way to adjust with that clapping hands emoji. It's really special. It's so special. I started a new job about a couple months ago, and it's really great. I love it. But it's a small office, and there's only 2 bathrooms, and they're individual. They're laughing because they work with me. There's only 2 individual bathrooms, so you go in, you're the only one in there. You gotta lock the door behind you. So on my second day on the job, I go in and I'm using the bathroom, and I realize as soon as I sit down, I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to lock the door behind me. And I'm like, it's okay, I'll be finished quickly before anybody even comes in here. And that's when I hear the footsteps. and the door turns, and I was like, no, I forgot to lock the door! And it was embarrassing, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry, and I just saw a flash of pink, and then I come out, and I'm weirdly relieved because I was like, at least I'm not wearing